This is Kevin Onizuk, your mortgage guy. In this video, we'll talk about the information and documentation we will need for a home mortgage application. If you've ever gotten a mortgage before, you know it is all about the paperwork. We're going to make sure that over time, you've got the ability to repay the mortgage, and we're going to look for anything else that we might need to know to get a full picture of who you are now and to predict your ability to repay that mortgage over the long term. The first and probably most important thing we're going to look at is income documentation. If you have just a traditional job where you have an employer and get paid by pay stubs and get W-2s each year, we're going to want a copy of that. Usually just your most recent pay stub and W-2 are sufficient. And we're also, during the process, going to reach out directly to your employer to verify the details of your income, like how long you've worked there, what is your base pay, do you have overtime, do you have commission. So just getting started with that pay stub and W-2 is super helpful. If you're self-employed or have other types of income that wouldn't show up on a pay stub or W-2, such as rental income from a property that you own, we are going to want to see tax returns. Typically, we need 2 years to show a history, and we can see consistency of income over that 2 years. So tax returns, if you're self-employed, we might want a year-to-date profit and loss statement. If it's a rental property, we may want a copy of your current lease, but that can document your other types of income as reported to the federal government. Most of the mortgage programs are federally backed mortgages, FHA, VA, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac. So we're going to use the income you reported to the federal government for the federal mortgage programs. Other types of income. Other types of income we can use include alimony and child support. For that, we'll need the documentation saying it's owed to you. That would be your divorce decree, separation agreement, child support order, things of that nature. And maybe proof that you're receiving it. That would be copies of bank statements showing the deposits or a statement from a child enforcement agency if it goes through that. Other types of income could be pension, retirement, Social Security. For those, we typically ask for your most recent awards letter. That's the letter that said, hey, congratulations, you're retired, here's how much your monthly pension is going to be. Or your most recent letter you got from the Social Security and for administration saying what your Social Security is going to be for that year. When we go through all of that, we're going to look for income history. So if you have commissions, bonuses, anything of that nature, we want to see the history. That's why we're going to dig a bit deeper on those types of income and may need a couple years versus 1 year of income documentation. And if you have other types of income, we can probably use that too. Ask your loan officer, say, hey, I get this or I get that. What do you need to document that income? Next, let's talk about asset documentation. That would be your money, wherever you may have it. We want to show that you have money for down payment, for closing costs, all of your cash due at closing, and even for what we call reserves. That's kind of money left over. So let's say you've covered your down payment and closing costs. We want to see what you might have left as a financial cushion. Some of the documents we need are your most recent bank and asset statements. So you can hop online and download an actual statement, or if you get them in the mail, send us copies. We really want a true statement. So that typically comes at a set period of time, maybe for a month, maybe for a quarter, has a set number of pages, like page 1 of 5, page 2 of 5, etc. And the best part is that has your whole name and your whole account number so we can verify it's actually yours. If you have other monies coming, say maybe from a gift, we want to document that. We'll need proof of money coming to you, the transfer of it. Ask your loan officer for details if you plan on getting gift funds for closing. If you made a purchase and are putting a deposit on the purchase contract, we will at some point want to verify that was actually your money. So let's say you made a $1,000 deposit on your purchase agreement. We'll want to see maybe a copy of the cleared or canceled check or the wire coming out of your bank account. You may not have that yet, but at some point, just know we're going to need to document that as well. Some other things we might need throughout the process, If you own a home now, we might need a copy of your current mortgage statement. And if you're planning on selling that house, a copy of the contract to sell it. We'll need a copy of your photo ID just to verify you are who you say you are. If you have anything unique in your history, like a bankruptcy, foreclosure, we'll probably need to document that. If you've had a divorce, even if you don't have alimony or support or anything of that nature, we don't know it unless you document it, so we may need a copy of that as well. If you have any other unique situations, don't hesitate to ask your loan officer what you might need. When do we need this documentation? As soon as possible. Ideally, we'd like to have at least the basics for an initial application and pre-approval review, and then it becomes most important once you're under contract and we have to get things ready for the official underwriter review and approval. And guess what? We're probably going to ask for more. Once we see documentation, we may see things on there that raises questions, and we may ask for more stuff. And if nothing else, we have to keep it up to date. A common question I get is, why do you need that? I already gave you that. Well, yes, I understand we got a pay stub from you 3 months ago, but we just need to keep that information updated and current in our files. So, thanks for watching. This is Kevin Onizuk, your mortgage guy. That gives you a basic understanding of the information and documentation you'll need for your application through approval. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can find me at loanswithkevin.com or call me anytime at the office, 757-645-0196.